Okay, I just finished my walk. I don't have the pitties with me, and I just realized we got auto road by my house, right? We got Toyota, we got Honda, we got Cadillac, we got Genesis, we got Mazda, right? This is auto road, okay? So my nosy ass did a U-turn and said, well, what is this Genesis about, right? Let me go check him out. I come up here to Genesis, right? They got some nice vehicles, right? GV80, four-wheel drive, GV80. Okay, here's a BMW. Then I come over here and I see they got some charging stations over here. Okay, charging stations. And they got two types of charging stations. It's called Charge Point. EV chargers, Genesis 2 available. Okay. So, yeah. So it looks like a lot of these people have to, provide charging stations and even charging adapters for other electrical vehicles. Okay? Alright. So, ooh, that looks nice. Yeah, it's the right height and everything. How much is it? Is that right? Yeah. 84,000. 84,000 for a GV80 Genesis. 84,000. That's the manufactured suggested price. This is too low for me. I cannot. Okay, this is like the sporty Genesis. What is it called? It's called a G70. That's what it's called. It's called a G70. I don't like it. Okay. Now, they have a lot of vehicles over here. And I think some of them are sharing parking lots, like Cadillac and this Genesis sharing parking lots. Because if you're going to spend $84,000 on a vehicle, it's like, well, why wouldn't you just get you a Cadillac? Genesis sort of popped up out of nowhere, and they trying to take over, right? Because I remember, what was it, about 20 years ago? The first time I seen a Genesis, and when they told me the price, it was un-effing believable. Un-effing believable. Okay? So, at these prices, I don't see why you wouldn't just, go with, a car that was built in America. Okay? Like the Cadillac. I'm going to drive through the Cadillac lot just to drive through Because all of these Genesis, they all look the same. They look the same, like they came off a manufactured, you know, assembly line. Hold on. Countries. Okay. Degrading America and trying to. This is what I'm seeing, right? I'm definitely seeing that there are electronic charging stations at all of these dealerships. Hyundai, however, they're parking vehicles, their own brand new vehicles, in the parking stall of the charger, as if, you know, they don't want nobody using their charging station besides, I guess, whoever they let charge there. Okay, so yeah, this is how it is around here. All right, now Cadillac, they have their charging station, right? They just got one out here in the front called Charge Point. Yep. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about this. What I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, right, our society has said, okay, we want more electrical vehicles, right? We want more charging stations available for the electrical vehicles, right? They sponsor, right, with loans, subsidies, and stuff like that, to have these electrical vehicles in place so that, it protects our air, our environment, okay? Because we all know if you lived in any densely populated area, how bad the pollution can get. It can get so bad it will look like a foggy day. And it is foggy, but it's foggy with pollution. Is this school still open? Nope, it closed down. So, yeah. But, like I said, in a situation like that, where, people, are seeing that, oh, there's an electrical station there. Why is the dealership parking brand new vehicles at the charging station and not allowing people to be able to use the charging station? Because you best believe they might sit up there and act like, they running things, right? However, the only reason why they got the funds to run such things was because they said that they was going to provide charging stations to the public, right? But they're not. They're not when they're parking, brand new vehicles that block off, access, to the charging stations. So now every time I see a Genesis, right, my mind is going in 3 different directions. It's like, oh, okay, you riding around in an $80,000, $90,000 vehicle. That's what my mind is saying now. Service department over here. So back in the day, right? When they used to have like receptionist positions available, women used to be able to have, the opportunity of getting a job here and being a receptionist. But they took that away. They didn't want women out here, soliciting, customers to come in and buy a car, right? Because the men said they could do that better than a woman could. And it wasn't true. It wasn't true. It just wasn't true. They cannot attract people to come in and spend their money. They cannot. Women can, but men cannot. And they could say, well, the cars will speak for themselves. Okay. They ain't doing a lot of talking right now. $90,000 cars, not trucks. So that must mean that the trucks have gone well over 100,000. Well over 100,000, right? You remember? Well, I remember when you got a loan, and loans for vehicles only were 2 years. Then it was 3 years. Then it was 5 years. Now I suspect that you're gonna be paying 7 to 10 years on a car loan at these prices, right? Just like they said, they're gonna give you 50 years to pay for your house. It may not last that long, but at least you got a loan that will last 50 years to pay for that house. So the upside about that situation is never think about keeping a house, right? That's the upside. The upside is get in, use the house, and then get out and sell it to somebody else, right? Same thing with a vehicle. Buy the vehicle, keep it a couple of years, maybe 3 years, right? Then sell it after 3 or 4 years, and then get you something else. Okay? I can't even tell you, oh my gosh, this is insane. But then when I was watching, what was going on in Ukraine, that was insane too, right? They got bombing and shit going on, and yet people still got to get up and go to work, right? Some people, they could get their whole home nuked, and they just paid rent or their mortgage. Okay, so it's a crazy world that we live in. We think that if we go to war or we're in war, that's gonna stop, you from having to pay your debt. No, that's not gonna happen. Not in this capitalist world. The only way that will happen is you got to take the corporations out. You got to take the corporations out. You got to take the government out. They got to go. Right? Because they keep holding on to this theory that, they in charge of the money. And they know that the money is what provides us more options. And so, they got the money. They got the options. And you don't have it. You don't get no options. You feel control. Until you get out of control. So I went for my walk, and it was a nice long walk. I couldn't take that kind of walk with the pitties because they would drive me crazy, right? So I was able to take a nice walk. I was able to go and chill and, go to these, car lots, just to satisfy my, curiosity, and now I'm headed back home, was able to get a video out, something that, I can review later, to help me remember things. I can review it a lot easier if it's on video. Yep. Dang, who brought a cart all the way down here? Okay. Yeah, most of these homes where I live, they got 3 to 4 vehicles. And between the 2 vehicles that I have, they really only amount to like 3/4 of a vehicle, right? Because the electric vehicle don't go very far.